What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Mosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, it is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Todd Savage. Scott, I've had a couple coffees this morning.
I can barely tell.
I'm feeling it. Let's go. We got a good show today. People can join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and those beautiful TV networks around the globe. Scott, today's show is a hot one. Just changed at the very last minute because EA and Koei Tecmo announced a new Monster Hunter-like game. Wild Hearts is on the horizon, and the release date is not really that welcoming. I'm gonna be honest. Overwatch 2 will bring
not
the old.
very far away.
It's not, is it? Overwatch 2 will bring the old roster with them, but you'll have some grinding to do. Overwatch boss wants to bring crossover characters similar to Fortnite, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta or Warfare 2 beta is the biggest yet. So we got some hot topics, Scott.
Is this the second time Sora sneaks into one of my favorite video games?
Just moving this up here because let's get into it. Just revealed probably about an hour before the show, which then changed everything for us. But EA and Koei Tecmo reveal Wild Hearts, a new AAA hunting game coming on February 17th, 2023. Dude, February is a busy month.
I believe that makes it 8 days after God of War.
No, God of War is in November. Thank goodness.
Oh, November 9th. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm confusing that crowded timetable with another.
Dude,
February is going to fill up very quickly.
There's a lot coming out in February already, and I think that's one of those things. February has turned into like the new holiday season. You wrap up holidays and you chill out for about the month of January kind of thing, and then February starts and it's just like everything just breaks loose. It's nuts. But let's get into the we got a press release this morning, so let's jump into it. The first AAA hunting experience for a new generation, Wild Hearts, featuring ancient technology that gives players a fighting chance against giant nature-infused beasts. Dude, some of these creatures were pretty cool looking. I was excited. Quote, Wild Hearts opens up a vibrant fantasy world to players that's untamed as it is beautiful. This comes from the executive vice president. Scott, you got this one. What's his name?
I believe Yosuke Hayashi. I'm gonna try with that.
I got the Hayashi. I was gonna go with that one, but Yosuke got me. Okay, this comes from the Koei Tecmo team. With Wild Hearts, not only did we want to showcase the evolution, infusion, and a real threat caused by the kimono, but we also wanted to create a game where crafting was at the core of the experience, redefining what can be possible in the beast hunting game. We have placed great care in designing our karakuri to fit within the combat, yeah. Right? And we're excited for players to use these powerful mechanisms to fight against beasts and traverse the world. Scott, watch the trailer.
My first kind of question is that they say a game where crafting was at the core of the experience, being, this is their kind of brand new idea, but that's always been a very big part of Monster Hunter. So it's not necessarily breaking the mold there.
No, this isn't breaking the mold. This is falling in line with the Monster Hunter genre, I'm going to call it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can even get into Dauntless. Let's take a look at that game, right? Dauntless is another monster hunting experience, set up with a Fortnite art style. But the crafting is at the heart of that game. Getting all your gear leveled up and all that stuff as you go out and battle against new monsters. And the direction for that one is you go from point A to point B to get these monsters. And I wonder how much of that is in this game as well. Still a lot of questions, right? This was just revealed. So there's a lot of things going on. This is an EA Originals title. This is labeled for those who dare to explore, said Stuart Lang, Vice President, Global Brand Electronic Arts. It's a home for studio partners like Omega Force, forging new ways to play from bold creative visions, and for players who love to discover untold stories in unseen worlds. We are excited to follow the wonderful and critically acclaimed It Takes Two from Hazelight Studios with ingenious mechanics, giant nature-infused beasts, and epic battles of Wild Hearts. The first AAA hunting experience for a new generation. Here's where the new generation comes in. Because on February 17th, when this releases in 2023, it is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC via Origin, of course, Steam, and the Epic Game Store for $70. Now that's US. Nothing,
Okay.
Scott, about PS4 or the Xbox One or the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, looking at this one, that would well, your Nintendo Switch would be getting pretty hot by my estimate here.
Your hands would be on fire.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where the new generation
You
is
could
coming,
play
right?
it on a Steam Deck, though, couldn't you?
Absolutely could play this on a Steam Deck, and every day is a little bit closer for me going, purchase.
Launching Epic Game Store and EA Origin off of a Steam Deck, that's cheeky, but I like it.
It works. I think that's the best part about it, right? Is the Steam Deck offers that ability to get into some of the games you wouldn't be able to take on the go if you went straight PC. So one thing I was waiting for as I'm watching this unfold, like they got these big tower things come up and all of a sudden they're shooting out stuff and whatever. But
I really like to look at the war machines.
It's cool, right? Absolutely very cool. So I'm pretty pumped. I like that it's feudal Japan. I saw the opening cinematic or the opening, the load screen, the wait screen, as everybody's kind of piling in to see what this game is going to be. So we're sitting there. I'm like, yo, this is feudal Japan. The way the buildings are crafted and everything else in the world and the bright colors. And I'm like, this is gorgeous looking. And then as it starts to unfold, it goes and the trailer goes. And I'm like, hey, one person. Now, two more people join the foray, Scott. Looks like we're going to be partying up with 3 people in this one. Thanks, Apex. And we'll be heading out, at least in a co-op situation of some sort, right? And I was like, okay, please, if I'm fighting monsters, I want to be in there. I want Scott to join me. I want my wife to join me. Whoever else is around. Yo, let's team up and hunt these guys down and have a good time. I think we're in for a blast. This looks like a bit of an open world situation. Don't really know, but dude, that landscape looks massive.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be just like Monster Hunter, where you load in specifically for that fight, load back out the same way as Dauntless would, or is this more of an adventure setting where you're checking in with Fort Tarsus? I struggled to say that, but hopefully it fares a lot better than that one. But the idea is, are you moving around this big open world?
Well,
I'm kind of bored of the open world now. To be honest,
it's everywhere, right? It really is everywhere at this place.
I
would
like
point.
Ubisoft to stick to it, but not in terms of Splinter Cell. That Splinter Cell remake is being talked about a lot right now, and I'm not sure I like what I'm being told.
Wild Hearts takes place in Azuma, a fantasy landscape inspired by feudal Japan that is now rampaged by the once peaceful kimono, altering their environment at the cost of citizens' lives. The kimono rage from plant-infused squirrels to the massive King Tusk wild boar squirrel. After a dreadful fight in the winter wolf Deathstalker, players become bearers of the life-sustaining technology and are compelled to restore balance across the region. Again, right? We're still trying to pick apart what's going on. Is this open world? Don't really know. But in Wild Hearts, players journey through Azuma as a lone wolf or pack hunt with up to 2 friends, thanks to our game's co-op and cross-play features across all platforms. Scott, all platforms, cross-play, co-op. I love it. So now if I'm on Xbox, my brother's on PlayStation, yo, let's hook up, let's play. Because I'm sure I got a feeling he's going to get this. I got a good feeling about that. Players can expand their battle plans and go on special missions while pack hunting, join other hunters in the world, or take on a kimono on their own. The game will feature voiceovers in English, Japanese, French, Italian, German, and Spanish. That is everything we received this morning from the press release. Dude, February 17th, gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see anything in the vein of Monster Hunter. It's not a very well traveled subgenre.
It's been quiet. I think is really kind of like Monster Hunter World came out, but dude, that was so long ago. That was last gen now. At this point, right?
Monster Hunter Rise is definitely the main focus now, but I'm
sure
I'm not
that's on the
with
Switch.
that at all.
That's on the Switch,
I
right?
want to say it's on PC as well, but I don't
I,
quite recall.
I think it has come to PC, but it doesn't go anywhere else. So it's not on PlayStation, it's not on Xbox, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, what's Capcom up to? And why would they do that? But there's got to be some kind of deal in place with Nintendo, I think, to make sure that they can get it on that particular console only, and then PC from there. But still, probably
Way back. I think it was Monster Hunter 3 that was the one that kind of broke through to America. But even then, it was still, I think it was locked to Wii U at the time.
Scott, October 4th.
Which is a miracle it came to America, given that.
No kidding. October 4th is not too far away. And on that day, Overwatch 2 is launching. Accounts, though, have to unlock, new accounts for Overwatch 2 have to unlock old heroes. This comes from Tyler over PC Gamer. As part of Overwatch's open new transition into the free-to-play game with its sequel, Overwatch 2 will have restrictions on new players to help prevent cheating and disruptive players. Blizzard wrote on a blog post today. Most notable, new accounts which have never played the original game before will have to earn access to most of its game modes and heroes. Fresh accounts that start with Overwatch 2 will have access to a limited set of game modes, heroes, and some other restrictions on board to onboard them to the more gradual instance getting into Overwatch 2. The first phase of the first time user experience, we're in brackets or in quotes, will unlock game modes and in-game chats. And then you'll be able to unlock original cast of Overwatch heroes over the course of approximately 100 matches, Scott.
Oh, that seems like a lot of matches.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm wondering what my total is in Overwatch, what my games played at this moment is in the first one. And I have to imagine it's probably several hundred, but that's still a lot of games as an onboarding route.
Yeah, that is quite a few.
I'm a little bit more of a fan of, jump into the lake. You swim or you don't swim. You figure it out real quick. I don't know if I'm such a fan of this gradual onboarding. There's nothing wrong with trying to remember what it's been called in other games, where you join in, but you're in kind of the kiddie pool at first before it opens up to you at a low level.
Well, that's kind of what
normally quite a low level, though, not a
quick match sort of thing, right? To be clear, first-time player progression seems to be separate from Overwatch's 2 upcoming Battle Pass, which will also ask players to grind through 55 levels to unlock a new hero, or pay $10 and get them immediately. Blizzard said most game mode restrictions are lifted if you play in a group, but the game's ranked competitive mode will be locked until you've won 50 quick play matches first. Previously, you had to hit level 25. So they changed that up as well. And on top of that, Scott, all accounts will require a phone number for SMS verification to play the game at all. Blizzard hopes it will prevent banned accounts from returning to the game, and the added layer 2-factor security should help protect accounts from being stolen. Couple little procedures in place there. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, that does work for most people. I think just about everybody on the planet's got a cell phone now, so that's not impossible to have two-step. The two-step verification is generally useful. I wonder if it's just going to be annoying in this case.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll find out, I guess, right?
Yeah, and the idea of ranked being locked behind a certain level, that makes sense to me. I think that's kind of the way I enjoy, if you're going to have a gated kind of intro into the game, you don't need to be jumping into ranked right away. Especially because the way it pairs you up and you get a team just like Siege with one really new person, and it doesn't really work out. Nobody has good time.
And then on top of that, the Overwatch boss is interested in exploring some Fortnite-style brand crossovers, Scott.
This is the part that makes me very nervous.
This comes from Matt Purslow over at IGN. Overwatch's commercial leader and vice president, John Spector, has said that he is interested in exploring brand crossovers similar to those seen in Fortnite with Overwatch 2. Well, I get it, dude. Fortnite has everybody and anybody in it, right? Like that's the biggest. The Rock is there, like every Star Wars characters, Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake, like dude,
Kratos.
Like there's so many characters there.
I think it's the only game where Kratos and Master Chief can well, can dance to with each other, I suppose, is the only interaction.
Yeah, like it's one of those situations that I get why he said this, right? But he says he says here, quote, he's talking to Game Informer. Spectre said, quote, I'm a big anime nerd myself. I think it's super cool when I see Naruto appear in Fortnite. Thank you. I was like, I know what it is, but it's just not rolling off my tongue. I don't even play Fortnite, but that's awesome. And as we look at that for Overwatch 2 space, those are things that we're interested in exploring. And if it makes sense is kind of one of the key values that they're hoping, right? They wanted to make sure it aligns. Dude, what else? Like, Fortnite is on its own other level. But when you mix in Overwatch,
I know exactly what character is going to make it over.
What do you got? What do you got?
Goku. I know Goku from Dragon Ball Z is going to be in it. Almost, I'm sure he'll be actually one of the first few characters added if they do go with an anime flavor.
Right.
Now, it brings up a lot of questions for me. How do you get that character to fit in the meta of the game? Think of this similar to Rainbow Six Siege. What happens if you just put a guy who has a tank gun on his face? It's not going to work.
I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because they're class-based in Overwatch, where Fortnite is not. Fortnite is it's a battle royale, so it doesn't matter what your skin looks like, but they have those opportunities there for you to have your skin unique to the game, so you can go in as Indiana Jones or Nathan Drake or Kratos, like myself.
The characters. Apex does have different characters in the roster that have different abilities and whatever, so that there is maybe some precedent for making that work, but I have a feeling it's like, okay, we added Rick from Rick and Morty, and it just ruins the game for the first 2 days.
How do you add that into Overwatch 2, right, and do it properly? I think that's something that you're going to have to really pay attention to and fine tune. But we'll see what happens. But Scott, more news in the world of Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 changes planned following the beta. Activision also claims that the beta was Call of Duty's biggest yet. Comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Quote, while sentiment around Footsteps audio was more positive in the beta weekend 2, we have seen your continued feedback on the volume of footsteps and will continue to balance enemy/friendly footstep audio ahead of a launch. It said over on the YouTube channel.
Those don't sound the same. That sounds kind of weird. I never considered that. Thinking of Rainbow Six Siege still in my head.
Sure.
I can't tell if it's you running up behind me, and that's how I get into trouble all the time.
Yeah, it's really tricky, right? So I'm constantly in Siege, particularly. I'm like, I'm panning around to see who is coming up behind me.
Because I see you guys flip around and look at me real fast a lot because I just come in clomping around.
Enemy visibility is something that came up throughout both weekends of our beta. While many of you remarked on the improvement in weekend 2, we'll look to tweak increased enemy visibility to allow for better visual tracking of opponents that is not solely the traditional nameplate. Branding lobbies are another topic we addressed during the beta. We feel this is an important feature and are actively looking at potential solutions for launch. Infinity Ward said it was very happy with the results of the weapon tuning changes made for the weekend 2 of the beta, but the further changes are coming. Activision has also claimed that Modern Warfare 2 beta was accessible to players who pre-ordered the game, was also record-breaking for the series, Scott. Call of Duty, unstoppable, man, at this point, isn't it?
Well, that suggests a lot of pre-orders, right? And that
sure doesn't
terribly surprise me. I know everybody in my generation, I've just now turned 30. The idea that Modern Warfare 2 is coming back again. Everybody in my high school class lost their mind, dude. I know there's a lot of pre-orders.
Yeah, absolutely. Call of Duty players made the Modern Warfare 2 open beta the biggest beta in Call of Duty history. The most players, most hours played, and the most matches played across PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and PC platforms. It said PC, Scott, coming back around, right? So I think that was another improvement right there as well. That probably has something to do to help, because we were talking about the numbers, seeing how they had I'm scratching the back of my mind for this one, but like 110,000 concurrent players or something like that. We've been tossing it a lot of numbers lately. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Warzone Mobile, which launches next year, has also become the fastest Activision Blizzard and King mobile game to top 15 million pre-registrations on the Google Play, according to the publisher.
Oh, 15 million. You're not going to have a hard time finding a match when that drops.
Not at all, man. So that's Call of Duty, a force to be reckoned with. A lot of changes.
Yeah.
Infinity Ward paying attention to everybody's feedback, which is always nice to hear. I love it when the developers are like, yeah, we hear you. We're working on things, right? We're going to fine tune and tweak this and that. And
yeah, take note, 343i, please.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, is this Warzone Mobile or Warzone 2, between the two of them?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the new face of Battle Royale? Or do you think Fortnite will always hold the crown?
I don't so there's big changes I know ahead for Fortnite 2, we'll call it, right? What they do to change that, I don't really know. I know a couple things in the back with what they're working on. So it's interesting to see if they can maintain that
information, because I'm not certain that I'm
you're not even aware of it yet, right? Yeah. No. I just, from rumblings and some insiders that I've been speaking with, there's definitely some work on what's next for Fortnite.
I think what I did hear was that there's Unreal Engine 5 assets being generated, but I don't know what that necessarily means. And Epic runs their own asset store as well, so it could be just a part of that.
They've got Creative 2.0 coming, is what that is, right? And they're using a light version of Unreal Engine 5 and allowing creators to go in and use some of these assets to build out whatever they want to do in Fortnite 2.0. So there's a lot of changes and a lot of things happening for the future. This is kind of lined up for like more next year, where Call of Duty is going to be this year right now. October 28th is coming up. It'll be launching then. And then from there, we'll get into, I think it's November 16th is when you get Warzone 2.0. And
this is the most packed 2 months I think has ever existed.
Dude, it's gonna be crazy the amount of work we got ahead of us, but it's gonna be a blast. And the gamers are gonna be just enthralled with so many different games. There's so many cool games to play. Like, man, I'm working right now on Valkyrie Elysium, and that's the newest one from Square Enix that drops tomorrow. I'm allowed to talk about it actually, so I got about probably an hour and a half into it. I just started it yesterday. We just got the codes. So it's one of those things. Steve and I are working on that on PS5. I'm also working on another game that's out in 2 weeks. I can't talk about that yet. So a lot of things are just starting to pile in, man. And it's just, it's going to be a hot season, right? A hot season for the holidays. And you're not going to be short of something to play. And then when Warzone 2 drops, dude, it's just going to jump everything to the next level. I know Corey and Adam are just at the helm waiting to get in. Nate's gonna jump in there. I'm gonna test it out. I probably will not stick around, I'll be completely honest, but I will.
We'll see how lightning quick it is.
That's just it, right?
For myself.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But it's oh man, Call of Duty, I cannot wait for the campaign though. I'm so pumped. I just there's a lot a lot on the forefront, and we'll be very, very busy with games to play, Scott, and the holiday season is gonna be awesome. But speaking of games, there are 2 games out today. What do we have?
We have The Depths of Theros Island is season 2 of The Cycle, and that's out now. The Cycle is one that I really still want to get back into. Every couple weeks I'm reminded. We also have Deathverse, Let It Die. Rather dark name there. That is on PlayStation 4 and 5.
That one's I looked at it. I don't know. Well, I'm curious to see how well it does. It looks like it's a game show taken over in a arena shooter. I could be completely off on that. That just from the trailer. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But The Cycle. Scott, when are we jumping in?
I want to. Basically, well, we just mentioned this packed up month coming up. Maybe now is not the greatest time.
This is maybe not the time to jump back in. But I definitely want to. I got that vigor urge, right? Give me The Cycle on console. Come on, Jagger. Let's go.
Oh, I think that is. I thought that was in the plans, but
I'll hit them up. I'll ask them. I'm like, when's this coming to console? Come on, we could use it over there because I think it'd be awesome. But Scott, once again, that's another awesome show in the books. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.